it wasn't until I was in school and my arthritis came back so bad. My doctor told me you need to be on bed rest. I think you need to stop going to school. And this was my first year. I was like, there's no way. Like, I'm not going to take a year off because of this situation. So I had crutches. I had a handicap sticker. I was on a low dose of chemotherapy. That was the methotrexate that we talked about.
Yeah.
Which, again, they put you on these things and they literally do not educate you. And, again, you should probably go home and educate yourself. But as a doctor, you trust and believe that they're going to give you the information that you need about your condition or whatever it is. So I was 18 years old and arthritis was so bad. I mean, my roommates can still tell you this day that I would wake up screaming because my knee would lock in place and I couldn't get it off. Like, I couldn't get it out. Like, it was excruciating. I gained a lot of weight. I never exercised. I mean, it's crazy now because it's such a lifestyle that I've made myself in that it almost feels like a different universe.
Welcome, everyone, to Jon Levine's Destination Health. I love that music. It fires me up. I'm all excited. And I'm very excited to have Christina Mayor, who I happen to know very well.
Yes.
I love this girl.
Aw.
How are you doing, sweetie?
So good. Now that I'm here, I had a rough day, but I'm happy.
Okay, so if you had a rough day, then we always have... This is how I want to start my podcast.
Yeah.
Tell me something good. So let's retrain your brain.
Yeah.
What's good? What's new? What's up?
Life is good. I just had an upset day, but you know what? I'm so happy to be here, actually talking about the things that I love and being with you. So I'm excited. I'm excited to dive in. Yeah. So.
What do you want to talk about? You want some of my nuts?
Can I actually?
Do you really want some?
Yeah. I'm hungry.
I have almond nuts and Brazilian nuts.
I know. You've come prepared.
Okay, seriously.
Yeah. You're so great.
Seriously, eat up.
But yeah, so yeah.
Tell me something. Well, tell me something good. What's going on? What's new?
Let's see.
We'll get into your story and how you can help our listeners, but come on, think.
Just
what's
good.
You look great.
Thank you. I'm feeling good. I feel honestly the best that I've ever felt in a really long time. When I'm in Belmar, I moved to Belmar and that's just been amazing. Being by the beach, I'm realizing that's what feeds my soul. So,
can I make you laugh? Can I tell you what's good? What's good is that you're not a guy because right now it's 95 degrees out and it feels like South Florida and I'm sweating my balls off.
Okay, well, you want to know something funny? I don't have air conditioning in my house.
So you're sweating your balls off.
I was so excited that we finally landed a beautiful place and it's right by the water that I didn't ask the woman if there was air conditioning.
So there's no air conditioning at all?
No. And because it's been kind of a weird, cool summer, not so hot in the beginning that me and my roommate never got air conditioning units. So this past month has been by far the hottest. When I tell you, I have such patience. I shower and I still feel like I'm sweating. That's a problem. So me being who I am, I'm I can't do this now. I can't already go out and buy an air conditioning unit when it's only a couple.
What the fuck are we talking about here?
I don't know.
We're supposed to be talking about good things. We're talking about air conditioning units.
It was so bad. I know.
Okay.
Let's get back on track.
How does your arthritis feel? So you've had, so I want you to tell your story.
Yeah.
Rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah.
In this weather, in any weather, how does that feel? Does it get worse? Does it get better?
It's swollen. It's super swollen right now, actually. And it's interesting because it does get affected by the weather 100%. It's interesting because of how humid it's been. Lately, I feel like at the end of the day, after I've been doing a lot of walking, standing, if I've been working out, I do feel it swollen. It doesn't hurt, which there's a difference between joint pain and then actually being swollen. But then the next morning, it's fine again. So it's kind of with the heat of not having the air conditioning.
It's all good. You're going to have these issues.
Yeah.
But here's what you bring to the table. Okay, so here's why you're on the podcast. I love you. I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
But we all have our issues. Your issue was rheumatoid arthritis, and you've gone through a lot, and you've gotten very far. Yeah. So the point of the podcast is to help people. There's going to be people with anxiety, with heart issues, with all sorts of different. There's going to be listeners that have rheumatoid arthritis. That are going to be going from doctor to doctor, and they're going to be very frustrated. You're a good case of someone who has gone through a lot, but you come out on the right side of it. Give me your journey.
So it started when I was 5 years old. My dad was giving me a bath, and he noticed that my left knee was like the size of a softball. So we went to the doctor, and at first they thought that it could have been Lyme disease. They ran a whole bunch of tests, and then finally the conclusion of what the doctor said was it was rheumatoid juvenile arthritis. So at the time it was kind of interesting because nobody in my family had history of that.
Right.
So they didn't really know. They just kind of just took the measures that the doctors were telling them to do, right? So from 5 years old, put me on a whole bunch of medication, and that was kind of it. It was just my life, going to doctor's office. So I have arthritis affecting my left knee. I have it all over, but predominantly it started in my left knee. That's been the most affected area. And then as of a couple years back, when it came back, it affected the lining of my lungs.
The lining of your lungs?
Yeah, it's really crazy actually, because
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's in the lining of my lungs. It's in my eyes and my wrist, my ankles, and both knees.
Rheumatoid arthritis affects all that? I did not know that. Seriously.
So again, it kind of comes down to the fact that now that I've gotten much more educated on my own, I'm realizing that we label it rheumatoid arthritis, but it's an autoimmune disease. So AKA meaning they don't really know what's going on. It's a mystery disease. Something's going on inside of my body, and
we're just calling it.
We're just calling it something.
Okay.
I
Interesting.
100%. So, again, going back, around 12 years old, I actually went to the doctor to get my knee drained, my left knee drained, and they took out 7 vials of fluid. As a 12-year-old, and I was a dancer my whole life. I was this skinny little girl with a knee this large, so swollen. Taking 7 vials out was pretty intense, and then it actually kind of went into remission, which was really bizarre just from getting it drained. And again, heavy medications up from 5 to 12 years old, and then changing my medication, still being on a lot of medication, but just changing it up after.
Right.
So it kept it at bay. It was like a Band-Aid.
All right. I've asked you this before, so let me ask you again. All right. So that period from 5 to 12 years old, the Band-Aid period, we'll call it.
Yeah.
1 being you feel great, 10 being you feel terrible. What did that get you at? Where were you at? What number wise?
After I got it drained, or before?
In general, if you average it out from in that span of that period of time.
It's scary. It's sad because you just get used to it. You get used to the pain. So I would say to an average person, I was in consistent pain. I was probably at a 7 for consistency. I remember being in dance and not being able to slide on my knees. And that's when you're a kid, you do those things, and couldn't slide on my knees, couldn't do anything that was on my knees that was dance related. I couldn't run. I couldn't do anything really quick paced. And I was a competitive dancer. So it wasn't I wasn't just I don't know. I was doing this because I loved to do it. And I just remember it being such a huge thing where I would see all these kids being able to do all these things and not.
So where are you now?
So what do you mean?
Number wise. So 1 being you feel on top of the world, 10 you feel horrible. You were a 7. You'll see where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
You'll see where I'm going.
Yeah.
7. You were a 7 in that span of time.
Pain, yeah.
in general, these days, you feel like what?
I feel like a 1.
Don't say a 7 or we can't.
No, yeah. You're like, come on.
You feel like, seriously.
I'm serious.
Be conservative. You feel like a what?
I'm at the best stage right now that I've ever been in. So I would say I'm a 1. I mean, honestly, my health is in check. My body's in check. My mind is in check, which is the most important thing for me right now.
That's good. So that's huge. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's where we're going with this. So you were a 7. You had your issues. Everyone has their issues.
Yeah.
What did you do? What did you do? Not the doctors, right? What did you do to figure out how to reverse this with your crystal infused amethyst water, ridiculous, making my Poland Spring look.
I'm telling you, it's so funny.
Yes, I have plastic Poland Spring water, and you have crystal infused.
I was like,
we'll get back.
This
Let's see.
toxicity.
Show everyone what this is.
So actually, it's so great. Like, each year I get weirder and weirder. And, like, my birthday just passed on the 16th. And my friends, it's just so funny. Like, I just over the years, like, what I've spanned from. And, like, now my friends give me... I have gotten more succulent plants than I ever have this year. I've gotten crystals. I have chakras. I have, like, chakra stones. I've got... oh my God, you have no idea. I'm like an undercover witch.
That is serious business.
I love it. It's magical, and I just love that my friends support it and they get me things that really feed my soul. So
well, if you're weird, then everyone needs to be weird because seriously, because look at you and you've reversed for the most part your arthritis or whatever they want to, or your you're dealing with your autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
All right. So enough of the water. So what are you doing? So like, what do you do in general? Like, is it your sleep? Is it your nutrition? Your exercise? What kind of exercise? What did you do to figure this out?
So it's a slow process. Like, you can't expect that you're going to heal yourself overnight. It basically, going back to the story of, like, I was in remission, and then in college, I had my first year of college. I was extremely stressed. I took it really seriously, my grades, and I was also partying and eating really unhealthy. I didn't understand nutrition whatsoever. I didn't even think that, like, it sounds so ignorant now. It's embarrassing, but it's like, no, that's the reality. People don't associate food with being anything other than just like, oh, I'm hungry, so I'm going to go grab, like, Dunkin' Donuts and have this and that, like, they don't even think about it. So that's how I was. And it wasn't until I was in school and my arthritis came back so bad. My doctor told me, you need to be on bed rest. I think you need to stop going to school. And this was my first year. I was like, there's no way. Like, I'm not going to take a year off because of this situation. So I had crutches. I had a handicap sticker. I was on a low dose of chemotherapy. That was the methotrexate that we talked about.
Yeah.
Which, again, they put you on these things and they literally do not educate you. And again, you should probably go home and educate yourself. But as a doctor, you trust and believe that they're going to give you the information that, like, you need about your condition or whatever it is. So I was 18 years old and arthritis was so bad. I mean, my roommates can still tell you to this day that I would wake up screaming because my knee would lock in place and I couldn't get it off. Like, I couldn't get it out. Like, it was excruciating. I gained a lot of weight. I never exercised. I mean, it's crazy now because it's such a lifestyle that I've made myself in that it almost feels like a different universe. But it's the truth that people live that every single day still, the way that I was. And that's what blows my mind.
That's what's tough because we're trained to trust doctors, and this is not a doctor bashing statement that I'm going to make, but there's a system in place where you go to this doctor for if you have an eye problem, if you have an ear problem, you go to that specialist, an ENT. If you have a knee problem, you go to an orthopedic surgeon. Yeah. There's all these different little specialties. And in this country, they're trained a certain way in Western medicine. And Western medicine has a place in this world. I always have to check myself and say, because it's true.
It is true.
It does have a place, because I get on this whole holistic,
right.
Eat your dark leafy greens, just exercise and stay away from the doctor kick. But if you get hit by a car,
you need it.
Come on, you got to go to the doctor.
100%.
Yeah, so, not saying that there's a place for it, but if you can get all these knuckleheads together, and it's not like one way is the right way.
Right.
It's like, here's Christina Mayor, and maybe it's Western medicine, but maybe it's not. The problem is that they discount nutrition.
Everything.
They discount all of that. It's always the drugs a lot of times, unless you go to a holistic or a functional doctor.
Right.
Which, listen, those aren't always, methods that work either.
You're so right about that.
But it doesn't have to be just this way or just that way. We can look at the whole picture, holistic, functional medicine, because there's only one Christina Mayor.
Right.
Who had an issue when she was 5. Let's find out what's going on with you, not, okay, this is what I do when there's rheumatoid arthritis in a 5-year-old. Yep. This is the medicine I'm supposed to give her, and this is what she gets.
It's so much deeper than that. And that's the thing, is like, as soon as you start to dive in and question everything, you literally uncover an entirely new world that you're like, whoa, I was sleeping. Like, I was not awake, and I'm now awake, and now I can't go back.
So what was the major thing that turned things around?
Changed everything was that I was already on a year of that of methotrexate, and I'll never forget the conversation. I had my dad in the room with me, and the doctor, I said, nothing's getting better. I'm feeling high on this medication. I'm sick. I don't feel well.
You got any left over?
I was like, it's not a good high. I'm telling you that. It is not a good high.
All right, forget it. Never mind.
You feel like you're levitating in like the worst way possible. It was like,
okay.
Or at least that was for me when I used to take it at night because I couldn't handle it during the morning. And it was just, I had so many medications during that time.
Yeah.
And, but anyway, long story short, he's in the waiting room and he was like, I don't know if you're, and again, I'm 18 years old. I don't know if you're sexually active, but if you are, if you get pregnant on this medication, you will have a deformed child, or it won't even survive. It was such a slap in the face. It was like such a wake up call, and I just remember it. That was really like the turning point. It was like the aha moment, and I remember asking him, "Is there anything else that we can do? Nutrition." I even said nutrition. I was like, can we do something else? And he was like, you're so far basically gone. Like, this arthritis is so far past.
What kind of doctor was it?
A rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay,
a rheumatologist. I'm sorry.
Rheumatologist.
Rheumatologist who specialized in rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
So this is a guy that is specializing.
Did he ever mention nutrition?
Never.
Did he?
Never. I mean, he was also like 400 pounds himself. And looking up the medications almost as if he had like a library, and that he didn't even know it himself of what to get me next. And I just remember it all being very like bizarre to me, because I just felt like I was like talking to somebody that didn't give a crap about who I was, and that I was an 18-year-old young girl that still had the rest. I didn't even scratch the surface of my life, and he's already putting me to sleep. That's what I felt. That's what was like, oh my God.
It's a tough system. It's what they're taught. I gotta go on my rant here.
I know.
This guy, I don't know. I didn't know this doctor. I don't mean to make fun of him for being 400 pounds, but obviously there's a problem.
100%.
I mean, there's obviously a problem when you have a 400-pound doctor who's not mentioning nutrition. He's not getting. And here's the thing: there's no results. You're not getting better.
No.
You're just kind of staying.
I was staying at my sick level.
Yeah,
that's it. I was just masking the pain. So after that, I dove into books. I don't even know how, but I just started diving into nutrition, and it really woke me up. I just was like, oh my God, I cannot even believe that food is what fuels your body. It sounds so silly when I think about it, because that is like the base of everything for me. But when you're not that's never like a big priority in school. Like that's never something that's really talked about, you know? And
it should be, that's for sure.
Right. So first I started again talking to people that are starting out, get the basis, right? Like you just have to start educating yourself, and you have to let it like almost sing to you for you to really make the change in your life. You have to like declare that you're about to transform your life because you want to get better and you want to stop being sick. Because I can teach you all these things about what I did, but if it doesn't do something to you, like play your strings, like you're never going to actually take the steps to do it. And I think that having them understand that it's a journey that's so worth diving into, and you start to find out so much about who you are. I think that we're in a society where we're kind of numb to like everything. We're so like, it's the hustle and bustle of life and all this stuff. And I just kind of feel like we don't take time to even like dive into like who we are and sit with ourselves for a minute. And this is the journey that if you're really willing to take, you discover all that and clean it all out of you. And it's like a load of crap, like everything, all of your symptoms, but also just
no pun intended.
Yeah.
Right?
Actually, I did a
Did
lot
you
of
do that
colonics.
too?
I did a lot of colonics in the beginning.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about them right now. However, I feel like, again, I was like a test, like, rat on myself. Like, I really was. Like, I was ready to dive in and do everything I could. And some things worked, and some things I was like, oh my God, I'll never do that again. You know, so like just little things.
Stop at the colonics. Don't start with anything else.
I think I like told Anya about them when I was doing it. Like, it was just so funny. That's how long ago it was. But I had to clean out my system. I had done so much damage. I was also on birth control for years as like a young girl into like being I think I stopped being on birth control. I think I was like from birth control from like 15 to like maybe 18, 19 when I really got off of everything. And I mean, they don't tell you how much that ruins your entire like body. So like I had a concoction of things. I knew I had a lot of cleansing to do. So I started with that. I did nutrition. I went vegetarian for a year and a half. I got so obsessed with my nutrition. It was intense. I couldn't even have like a...
Look at these guns. Look.
I'm not even that. I'm like kind of soft right now.
You believe this? She had rheumatoid arthritis, and this is soft. I'm not so sure about that.
I'm kind of soft right now.
But... Let's see the knee. So
the knee,
again,
my knee's a little swollen right now because it's at the end of the day. It's always going to be... My knee is never going to be tiny again. I've done so much damage over the years of it being inflamed that it actually has...
Never say never.
You're right. But you know what? It doesn't hurt. I can squat.
You have infused water. This could be the trick.
I can stand up.
Can you?
I don't know if you can see, but I mean, my knee's really swollen still. But again, I didn't have over the years. I wasn't able to have any quad muscle.
Where is it swollen? I don't even see.
It's swollen. You can
tell. A little bit.
Right here. This is my bone, but it's like protruding outward now.
All right, how big was it when it was?
Oh, it was this big. It had to have been this big. My ankles are like the smallest ankles ever. I'm not joking, golf balls on the sides of my ankles because of the inflammation. It was really intense. But like I said, for the first time in my life, I
just tried to get everyone to look at you to see what kind of shape. That was my little trick. It really wasn't about the knee. It was just for me.
Yeah.
Just a side note. I'm a dirty bastard. I'm married, but
I really, you know how hard I've worked over like the years too, and that's like another.
Look great.
And that's another thing is that, again, it's all part of the process, and I think that when you start with one thing, you cannot give up because you're not going to see immediate results. But I will tell you this: for people that are starting out, I highly recommend that they really look into cutting out, first thing, dairy. If they're drinking milk or anything or having cheese, I really recommend that they cut that out first.
Okay.
Having that out of my system, that transformed me. I would say within the first week, I started to feel a little bit different.
Okay.
Obviously, the longer you go, the better you feel.
Gluten?
Gluten's the next thing. get rid of it. Because the thing is when you're going through this like rehabilitation, you really need to be strict, because dabbling here and there is still setting it off. You've been doing this for a really long time, or your body's been in such strain for such a long time that giving it a little relief doesn't do the whole thing. So you have to be kind of strict on that. And then later, years later, I feel like you can introduce things if you can find like sprouted grains or, of a good organic source, but still,
It's interesting because everybody's different.
Everyone's different.
So some people can handle dairy. Maybe some people can handle gluten, although I don't think so. But everyone's different, right? Mm-hmm. But there's some troublemakers. And when I say troublemakers, dairy, gluten,
right,
corn, soy, which you can have. Some people will swear gluten's fine. Some people, probably not gluten. Some people will say dairy's great. Some people will say dairy's terrible, or dairy's so-so.
Right.
You'll have all sorts of... But dairy is definitely,
one of them.
Along with gluten, soy, and corn...
Yeah. A lot of problems.
What I would call a troublemaker.
Right.
Potentially, these cause a lot of trouble. Mm-hmm. So you're saying eliminate that.
The big ones, yeah, 100%.
Right.
Because just see how your body reacts.
It's not spinach. It's not your infused water. That's not the culprit, right? It's not.
No, I know.
Right? It's not an apple.
And it's funny, people will find excuses for like it being something that's like you're just like, really? But like I said, slow and steady. Everyone gets overwhelmed. I'm one of those people that I feel like I want to do everything all at once, and I get very overwhelmed with it without having like a plan. So like I always just, if I can recommend that, go slow, get a journal down and kind of write in your phone every day how you start to feel after. Because when you start to look at how you feel, it kind of brings a connection to your brain, and then it links everything back together. Because so people who are eating a traditional American diet don't even realize how toxic, and I'm saying that in the nicest way, how toxic they really are. It's causing them to have brain fog. It's causing them to have bloating and gas, and they think this is normal. It's causing them to have indigestion issues, and it's normal. They're just so suppressed to it because it's been so long. Once you start cutting out certain things, you get like vitality back, and you're like, oh my God, this is unreal. I have so much energy. Yeah. But until you start cleansing that, you're never going to feel it. So I think writing it down and kind of seeing day by day what you feel like will start to bring that connection to you, and you're going to want more. It becomes addicting. You're just going to be like, I want to see where I can take this.
Yeah, it's up to you.
It's
up to the person to get themselves healthy and
you have to declare it. That's the problem. Because throwing my mom under the rug right now, but my mom calls me all the time and she's like, honey, I gotta lose some weight. Now, we've been talking about this for the last like 10 years. Oh, it's gonna kill me if she ever hears this. But I'm serious. It's because she has not declared that she's really up for the challenge of really doing what she needs to do.
She's not doing it.
Honey, is there a weight? Because I obviously work for a supplement company. Honey, I heard of this new supplement. Do they have this here? It's called blah, 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 blah. And then I'll be like, she's like, I hear it's like great for cutting weight. I go, Ma, it's super easy. Lay off the drinking, stop eating the white bread and the pasta that you're eating, and, drink more water and actually exercise. And she was like, okay, all right, I'll call you later.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
After I have my Diet Coke.
Yeah, went right over. But no, she's... I make a joke out of it. She has definitely transformed her life better, but to get the results, you really need to be dedicated to a different lifestyle.
You can't push information.
You can't. That's what I've realized.
I've told a lot of people, and I've been told, you're not a doctor, you're not a nutritionist,
right?
So why are you telling me what to eat and what not to eat?
It's so crazy, man. When I started this journey, I wanted to help everybody. I wanted to help everybody. I shared so much information. People were like, stop. And it would make me so upset because I'm like...
Why were they saying stop?
Because they didn't want to listen to it.
They didn't want to hear it. Yeah.
You know, they didn't want to listen to it. They didn't want to hear about it. Again, I started this before it was like kind of cool to be like healthy. So I'm meaning like I started my journey before there was any gluten-free options available and like all of this organic health food and whatever, like there was nothing.
It's not organic, it's just regular food.
It's just
food.
So
all we're asking for is please don't put chemicals on our food.
Right, exactly.
It's not just organic.
100%. Trust me, I have an issue with that.
Whatever. And this fancy schmancy organic stuff.
But
it's just food.
It's just food, exactly.
My apple needs to be an apple. Leave the red coloring and wax and pesticides off it.
It's pathetic.
That's kind of all that is.
Right.
That's all I'm asking, right?
But it became a huge fad. Oh, is this organic? It's like, you know, whatever. Right. So, I'm like, that's another podcast. Yeah. But yeah, so after this, I'm just realizing that you can only inspire. You can you need to worry about yourself and what you are doing. And guess what? People will eventually catch on if they're willing to catch on.
And that's what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what we're doing here. We have our opinions. I certainly have my opinions. But for those listeners that are ready to move forward, that's why you're here.
Yeah.
Sincerely, that's why you're here.
Yeah.
You're a perfect example of someone who's gone through this particular issue.
Right.
Who is doing fantastic. You said you're a 1.
Yeah.
You're always a 1 in my book. So the listeners that are ready to move forward and get the help and take advice from, she's not a doctor.
Right.
Here she is. This is how she looks. This is how she acts. She's not a 400-pound rheumatologist.
Right. It's just through experience.
She's rocking.
And I feel like this is what I've learned the most is that you can have, and I don't bash this at all. I think it's unbelievable. But like I was saying, like, you can have all of these like certificates from like colleges and institutes and whatever, but you could know nothing, if that makes any sense. And until you are ready to do your own research, ask your own questions, and figure out what works for your body, again, you said that you're you, and everything that works for me could not work for you, but it's worth diving into the journey to figure out what works for you. And I think that that's the most important thing, is taking that first step. So, but again, I got off all of my medication by myself. When I stepped into this journey, I went full force. I've now it's been like 5 or 6 years I've been off all medication. And I don't even take Motrin. So.
Okay, so what's your diet like? What do you eat?
Now?
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I was doing the vegetarian thing, eating fish once in a while, and then I started to introduce, this was only like maybe 2 years ago, I started introducing chicken back into my lifestyle. And it was weird because intuitively I felt like it was not right. But I remember I forgot where I went. Was it to a doctor? I had to get like blood work done. And they were telling me something about my blood work and saying that like I was deficient in something. And I should have, again, kind of just gone with like my gut with things. And instead I was like, you know what, I'll check out a good brand and I'll start introducing that back into my system. I did that for about a year, and it's interesting because I was breaking out a lot, like, and it was weird because like my skin was cleared up, everything was clearing up, and I feel like when I introduced that back into my system, that was the one thing that seemed like heavy to me. So I stopped and I would interchange. So it'd be like every 2 weeks I'd have something that had like chicken in it and see how my body reacted to that. And now I don't eat any chicken because I just realized that it's just not, it doesn't feel right for me, and I kind of want to just go off of what feels right when it's coming into my body. But I actually roast a lot of vegetables, and I have a lot of spinach, and I have lentil beans, and I love to experiment with different like sauces. So that's, I mean, like, I eat really plain. Like, it's not fun, like, to, average people.
But this works for you.
It does, yeah.
That's the whole point. There's nothing wrong with eating chicken.
Right.
And you're going to get into this vegans, don't eat animals. And animals are like, screw you, vegans. You're figuring out what works for you.
And
Christina
it's still
Mayor.
like a crazy, like, it's like, that's exactly what it is. It's kind of trial and error, and it's like always what feels right in that moment, and something can change, and I don't know.
Then it can.
So that's been like a big thing, but yeah, I don't know. I eat very basic. Actually, I have been on this kick, this buffalo cauliflower wraps. Cauliflower sandwiches I've been making.
You make them?
Real.
I make them. You didn't bring any for me?
I should have.
Where's my
I came
buffalo
from work.
Oh man.
I will, but you have to try because it's again ingredients that really just like kind of feel you. I have just like almond flour as like this batter. Almond flour. I do use one egg. I give you my
nuts. You bring no cauliflower.
Right, cauliflower. It's really bomb. It's so good. But again, that's another thing of my passion is that through this, I didn't know how to cook. And I was like diving into all this nutrition, and I'm like, I gotta figure it out, right? I gotta start somewhere. And through this was like, oh my gosh, I can make all this food taste actually really good, and I don't have to compromise.
What's in this? Make a note of that, Ming. That buffalo cauliflower wrap.
So
that's a must. That's coming our way.
It is.
What's in it?
So simple. So the batter, because you have to batter it. You chop it up, whole head of it. You just chop it up, leave that to the side. Cauliflower. So then you do almond flour, an egg, a cup of almond milk, paprika. I had to do Himalayan salt, pepper, and cumin. That's your batter. You mix it all together, and then you put it into the oven and bake it for like 35 minutes, and it tastes like chicken. It's so bizarre.
Really?
It is so bomb. I'm telling you, it's a staple. I keep it in my fridge because like when I'm ready, it does. It has I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's so nuts. It's awesome. So I like.
No, it's not so nuts. It's so cauliflower. Yeah. But
You're right. It's not
bring it next time because I'm getting hungry.
I will. But it's really, really
stupid
simple.
Banana and my Poland spring and Poland spring and my banana. And this fancy pants with your buffalo.
I just like spicing
cauliflower
it up.
And
I know.
Amethyst water.
Have you had jackfruit?
I know what it is. What?
So it's a fruit, obviously, but there's this, oh God, I forgot the brand's name. I think it's called like Jacko or something like that. It's in Whole Foods, and it's marinated already in like a barbecue sauce, whatever. And all you do is, it tastes like pulled pork. It's so strange. It tastes like pulled pork. But what I do is I chop up all these peppers and onions. And
look at that.
Yeah.
Look at those big bastards.
It's so crazy, and it's so good.
Where are those growing? In tropical areas, I guess.
Yeah, actually, you know what's so wild? Type in "chicken of the woods." Okay, I just had this for the first time, and I'm mind blown. First of all, it has 15 or 14 grams of complete protein. It tastes like chicken. It's so strange.
What is this? What am I?
It's a mushroom.
This is a mushroom.
Yeah.
Is this?
It's a mushroom. You can only find it, I feel like, in like indigenous
And people don't
places.
Start just eating mushrooms, okay? Don't just.
I advise not to do that.
Don't just walk around the woods and be like, "That's chicken in the woods. I got to eat it, please, for God's sakes."
But it's so interesting because I love this vegan place in New Brunswick.
That place is good. Yeah.
Veganized. Are you talking about?
But what is chicken of the woods? Where do you find this? Where does this come from?
So the reason why I know is because I stopped in and he's like, "Oh, Christina, you got to try this." And he's like, "We just got this in," and he's like, I breadcrumbed it and whatnot, and I tried it, and I was just blown away. Blown away. The protein is unreal in it. It's a complete protein.
It's a complete protein.
Yep.
There's a lot of different mushrooms out there.
Yeah, there is. And mushrooms.
Look at that crazy looking mushroom. Mm-hmm. All right.
But so like little things like that, like that's like what gets me on a high. It's so like it's so
cool,
funny.
Right?
I love it. I love discovering new types of foods that like people would be so freaked out to taste. Like I'm obsessed with it. That's like, it's awesome.
So when my kids are done with their football and soccer practice, if I come in with a big chicken of the woods and say this is your post meal, people are gonna look at me nuts when they have all their Twinkies and all that. Here's.
They would like it. I think they would like it if you did it right. It really does taste. It's crazy.
I like it.
But yeah, so that's that.
No, that's the beauty. It's you learn. I never heard of this before.
Yeah, you get to discover all these different things. I feel like that's what I love it, because I don't like doing things that everyone else is doing. That's what I've learned about myself. It's like,
that's why I love you.
Yeah, I've been just honestly bumping to my own beat for a long time, and I don't care. I love it. I love being able to discover new things that are not that, the mainstream of it.
What else are you doing besides the nutrition that works so well? What's the exercise routine looking like? Do you run? Do you lift weights?
I've just started doing
yoga.
So I used to do I used to do the UFC gym. That was a lot of HIIT cardio, right?
Yeah.
I got super shredded, but I got really, really skinny. I don't know if do you remember when I was really I feel like I was really skinny.
I think you look pretty good.
No.
I've always thought, okay.
I looked
really skinny?
I looked I didn't have a lot of muscle mass, but I was playing around, I remember my girlfriends being like, dude, you look phenomenal. We'd still want to look like you, but you're getting too skinny. And I was like, oh, that was a big wake-up call. Because, my girls are real. They're honest. They're not, they're really honest with me. So I was like, okay. And then I started to look at myself, and I'm like, I would love to be more of, a build, right? Instead of it just being really, I didn't want just a flat, crazy, skinny stomach and no legs. I wanted a base. I wanted everything to be full. That's what I wanted. I'm sorry, I'm describing myself very bizarrely. But long story short, now
full is good.
I went from HIIT cardio to just weight training, and that was cool. But now I'm in strength and conditioning, and I freaking love it. So I'm kind of just finding little different things. Strength and conditioning has improved me overall. I've been able to I've gained 10 pounds since last year. And even though I know that I've gained 10 pounds, it's the healthiest 10 pounds of muscle.
Of muscle.
It's of muscle. I mean, there's fat. There's definitely fat. I'm definitely not it's definitely fat, but I'm happy. I feel full, and I feel well balanced now. I feel good. So that's been huge, because I didn't get that with just weight training, with just lifting weights. So now I'm doing so much more things. I deadlifted for the first time. I hit my new PR. It was 245. I deadlifted.
You deadlifted 245?
Yeah, and I'm I'm 110 pounds, and I'm 5'2", and I have the arthritis, and that's what I'm saying. So it's crazy, because again, going more into it.
You're inspiring me.
I love being able to just push myself, but I'm a little girl at sometimes. If I don't have that group pushing me, that's why the weight training only got me so far, is because the strength and conditioning, I have a coach. So he holds me responsible to do it, and I have him with the safety of it. I have such a mental block with my arthritis that I was not squatting because I was so petrified that it was gonna pop my knee or something was gonna happen, or I didn't have somebody supporting me. So it was such a mental block. So that's another recommendation is if you're looking to enhance your body, find somebody that you can trust, that knows what they're doing, and that can get you on track and hold you accountable, so.
Well, sometimes it's that fear that holds you back. Right?
Yeah.
You can't do this, don't eat this, don't lift this weight, don't run.
Yeah, so they're stuck. They're I don't know what to do. Yeah.
And then you don't do anything.
Yeah, you don't do anything. Exactly.
And then you're just going to waste away.
Yeah. But it's interesting, because you said, what else are you doing? And I think the overall thing is that mind, body, and soul connection, right? I didn't understand. You don't understand these little sayings until it connects for you. And I just thought it was a cute, artsy, quote. But really, when you clear out the food that's holding you down, it makes room for a different connection with your body. And then it opens up a whole new world with your soul. And I just, it's really mind-blowing, because now I have entered into I feel like I've gotten a really good toll of knowing what my body feels and works on. And I also talk to my body so much more than I've ever had in my entire life. And I think that people don't realize the power of that. And
what do you say to your body?
You should hear, actually.
I know, really. Now it's getting interesting. What do you say to your body? And what parts of your body are you talking
all
to?
over. So I really do. Before sleep, this is something really important that I want everybody to know. And like, I know this sounds batshit crazy.
Hey, Tush, please stop making so much noise.
Swear to God,
Stop making so much noise, please, Tushy. Thank you. I talk to my body too.
If you talk to it
down, boy.
At night.
Sorry. You started.
If you
go.
No, it sounds crazy, but like at night is the best time to do that because everything's winding down. But if you literally take a couple minutes to kind of run through, especially if you have a problem, if you're not feeling well, or if you have like a problem area, they literally say direct your energy to that area and give it so much love. Like
all right,
send
give
love.
me an example. Teach me.
So like if my knee was hurting
because I know
last night.
you did something. I know you did something.
Yeah. So
like specifically, just walk me through the whole process.
So at night before I go to bed, especially if my knee is bothering me.
Okay.
In the past, I used to like get really hard on myself and be
Wait
like,
till you have kids, by the way. This shit's going out the window.
yeah.
You will not have
and then
time.
bring me back on.
You will not have time to talk to your body.
You're so right, and that's a whole nother journey that opens up.
Just an FYI. Remember, I'm telling you this now, okay?
I know, I'm gonna
back
watch
to
this.
talking to your body.
But
speaking of down, boy, it's been down forever. It seems like that's what also happens. Go on.
But that's the thing. You have 5 minutes of your time to just do that. And if you can just do that, then you're doing your body a service. And the power of being able to talk to your body is so much more than people give credit. All day long, we don't realize how negatively we talk to ourselves. We look in the mirror. True. If we have a pimple, we say, oh, this is disgusting. Or we'll say things like, that's gross. Or, oh, I wish I could lose a couple more pounds. We are constantly criticizing ourselves. And what's the first thing that you do when you look at a picture with like a group of people? You say, can we take another one? It's because you're only looking at yourself and you're saying, I look like shit, right? So like, let's take another one. You're never going to be like, oh, yourself. Damn, I look... Oh.
No, I'm just kidding with you.
No, you're right.
No, it's true. I look at my wrinkles. I have like these wrinkles on my forehead.
Right, so instead you'll focus on those things. And
look at these bastards.
Guess what?
I do. You're right. I look at the wrinkles. But they're crying. Like, damn.
And I know this sounds so weird because you have to switch your brain into actually authentically feeling like...
Will you talk to my wrinkles?
Yeah.
And tell them, what would you tell my wrinkles right now?
If I was going to bed, if I had wrinkles on my... And that was like a main thing.
Oh, if you had wrinkles.
I do
now
have
you're making
wrinkles.
me feel even worse. If I were Jon and I had wrinkles like he has, this is what I would say to my wrinkles.
I love you so much, and thank you so much for being my face and having the courage to face people in this world. And I just want to let you know that I love you so much, and that's it. I know that sounds so crazy.
No, it doesn't. I like it.
But you're changing the way you speak about yourself. Therefore, your body, I learned this on a podcast. They were saying that just the way that you send out messages in the universe and it comes back to you, right? Yeah. That's like manifestation. That's everything. It's like a boomerang. What you put out is what you get back.
Yeah.
Your body inside, internally, you are a universe to your body. So the way you talk to your body is the signals it's going to give back to you. And that's what really opened me up, that I was like, oh, whoa. The conversation I'm having with my body needs to be a lot different if I want it to continue for me, you know? So that was like a big thing.
No, I buy it. I buy it hook, line, and sinker. I do.
Yeah.
I really do buy it. We're trained... It's weird because our brains are just negative by nature.
Totally.
And we just need to... That's why when we started the podcast, I said, tell me something good. And you're like, oh, I had a rough day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to...
Which is so ironic because, honestly, this sounds weird, but like I really don't have a lot of bad days. Like I'm truly blessed for that, and I'm very conscious and grateful that I've been able to change my life to not being one of those people that are like, ugh, my day sucks, you know? Even though I came in today and I was like, rough day. But you know what? It happens. I took accountability for it. I didn't take it out on my partner. I didn't take it out on my friends. I didn't take it out. I literally was like, let me check in with myself. Where is this emotion coming from? How am I going to deal with it? And how am I going to switch this upside down?
But that's interesting. But that's why I decided with every podcast, I've decided I don't want anyone coming in here with any of their negative crap.
Right.
I mean, I'm joking, being harsh, but that's why I say what's good, what's positive.
Right.
Give me something good. Sometimes it takes a while, and you're like,
well,
you know. But you know what? Then you start thinking about something positive.
Yeah. And it changes
everything.
Changes
Which
everything.
is why I asked you that.
And I'm so mad.
Which is why I'm brilliant.
That I didn't think of it, but so I just celebrated my 27th birthday, and it's so funny. My boyfriend's like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, "I want to go to an alpaca farm." He's like,
"You're crazy.
You're out of your friggin' mind." And I'm like, "No." So, you know, it's so.
I love this girl.
It was so sick. Honestly,
where do you find girls like this? Seriously.
Guys, it was so cool. It's actually right in Wall Township, and it was so amazing.
It's just an alpaca farm?
Mm-hmm. And this guy doesn't
There's no other animals?
No, just alpacas. And you can have, like, weddings there with the freaking alpacas. I'm like, dude, that's definitely what I'm going to do.
Did you talk to their arthritis? What did you say to these alpacas?
You have no... Wait, can you just look at this
Do they have photo? Wrinkles? Let me see. That's good.
It was so amazing.
They are beautiful animals.
They're so beautiful. They have so much personality.
This was awesome. This is it.
That's it. Oh, it's so amazing. You have to take the kids there. They would love it. You get to feed them.
It's amazing what we have here in beautiful New Jersey. And I mean that sincerely.
And you know what? This guy was so amazing. Honestly, my boyfriend was like, how much do we owe you for the tour? And the guy's like, I don't do it for money. And we were like, what?
Meet the herd.
It was freaking awesome. So yeah, definitely check it out if you're in Wall, New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. So I did that. And then I actually went to a paint night. You know, like that wine paint night in Asbury.
But what did you say to your knee specifically?
Oh, what? When I go to sleep at night?
We're getting back to that. Like specifically, what did you say? Like, I love you.
Every night, I'm literally like, I love you so much. I'm sending all of my love.
Do you miss a night? Do you miss a night?
There's times where, like, if I'm, like, exhausted, I'm not even thinking, and I just pass out. Or if, like, I'm entertained or something, like, I'll do it. Yeah, absolutely. But I will tell you, it sounds strange, but I've noticed a difference that when I really consistently talk to myself, the next morning I feel really different. Like, I feel really good. Like, I don't know if it's just like that I'm putting the good intention out there and that it's almost like putting me in a better mood in the morning or what it is, but whatever. You have to believe. I think a lot of people don't believe in magic, and I am, like, the biggest magic person ever. I think that there is magic going around us all the time, but we're so fixated on the bullshit of everyday life that we're not even, like, awake to it. So I think there's magic everywhere, and I think that you just have to believe.
There's magic in this room.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, we all have energy. If you don't believe in energy, get into a room with a fighting couple, you will real quick feel that energy. Trust and believe that. That was the first thing. I was like, that is so true. You can pick that up. It's like slapping you in the face.
And they don't have to say a word.
They don't have to say a freaking word, and you know they're fighting. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It is amazing, right?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
You think you're safe by not saying certain things. It's like you have a fight and someone picks that up. Holy crap.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I believe in magic too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how I beat a guest like this. I don't think I do.
What'd you say?
I said, I don't know how do I top this?
Oh.
With all my guests that will be coming on, and we have a lot. Some I know, some I just have met.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I top you.
I think they'll bring their own magic to the table. So
there you go again with the positive. I like it. You're so positive.
You know what the thing is? There's a difference between fake positive and just being what it is. And that's the difference that I've been noticing is that you meet some people that are like, yes, I do positive affirmations and I'm so positive and I don't understand why life is not working out for me. And I'm like, it's because of that right there. You don't believe in you don't believe in the shit that you're saying. Like,
right.
You're not owning it and you're not really digging deep. You're just thinking that you can say a couple things about how you love, being positive, and that's not going to change your universe. That's not going to change your world. And I think that that's a big problem that we have today, is that people don't want to take accountability for their shit at all. And that's the thing, is that for a long time I didn't either until I got called out on it. Yes, do not have beet juice before you do that, though. Your hydrotherapist will think you're bleeding. Oh. That was a crazy experience I'm not going to go into, but it was very scary at first.
Jesus.
Yeah. I was like...
Okay. With that,
we'll end.
It's a wrap. I love you, sweetie. Here, give me a hug.
You're the best.